Hi, I'm Heather Eades, and I'm the social media content manager for AIM Academy and DeborahBell.com. And I'm also a teacher at AIM Academy with my good friend Kristen Roy. And we are tackling the subject of writers in residence for you guys today. Yay! And just in case you weren't aware, the Writers in Residence online classes at AIM Academy are now under a new course name. They are Creative Composition 1 and Creative Composition 2, which is Writers in Residence 1 and Writers in Residence 2, Volume 2. So, Kristen, this is your first year teaching with AIM Academy, but you are not a stranger to teaching or homeschooling. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I got my degree in secondary education English, and that was many moons ago. And I've been homeschooling, what did I figure out? 14 years, I think. And I have taught 4 children. I'm still teaching 1. I still have 1 at home. And I have taught this Writers in Residence Volume 2 through our homeschool co-op, which is how we know each other and our friends, this last year. And it's a great curriculum. So I'm very excited to teach the online course.
Yes, you're going to love it. It's lots of fun.
Yes.
And I'm Heather Eades, and I'm also a homeschooling mom. My oldest is now in high school, and my youngest is in middle school. And we've gone through Writers in Residence at our house as well, and at our co-op. And now this is my 3rd year teaching it online with AIM Academy. And I've loved every minute of it. I had fun teaching it with my own kids, but it wasn't really until I got into the group setting and kids started sharing their writing together in like a writer's group that I really enjoyed it even more than I did previously. I do have an editing background and a freelance writing background, so that's what made me really fall in love with it, because it really focuses on the way that professional writers write, and I had not found a curriculum that had done that before. We had some questions that you guys had for us on the Writers in Residence Facebook group. And so we said that we would answer them. And let's see, what do we have first? Well, one of the questions was, can anyone register for this class? Can anyone register?
Anyone can register.
They can. Yes, you do not. AIM Academy is not like an online school where you have to do all the subjects. You can pick and choose whatever classes that you need. If you have a high schooler that needs a class, you can pick and choose just that one class. If you have a middle schooler that needs a class, that's where Writers in Residence is a great place to start. But I've also had high schoolers take the Writers in Residence classes as well. So we suggest beginning about 5th grade and then up as far as you want to go with that. Another parent asked if you already have the textbook, would you have to buy it again when you sign up for class? No. No.
The same one.
Yes. We're homeschool moms. We don't want you having to spend any more than you need to. We understand the struggle. So if you have a friend that used it and you can borrow it, feel free to do that. The textbook does not come when you buy the class, so you wouldn't be getting 2 books.
And it is the all-in-one Writers in Residence. This is Volume 2, and she'll be teaching Volume 1. So.
Yes, I don't have mine. My visible copy. If you do have multiple students using the curriculum, I think you can still get
the student workbook.
The student workbook. Yes. I think that is still available at christianbook.com. Is that right? CGD?
Yes.
.com. You can still find them there. You might also find them on some used homeschool websites as well, because it's been out for a few years now, so families might be passing it on. Another parent asked if it was okay for a parent to sit in on the class and take notes alongside their student. Absolutely. I'm totally fine with that. I mean, I think absolutely. Yeah. I've had parents do that before too, and some of them have like asked me questions after class. That's never a problem. Or you can. Sometimes it's helpful if a parent is there to see what's going on, to maybe
Ask
if they're
them later.
yeah, if their student missed something, that is totally fine for parents to sit on and take notes for your student. Although I will just say that we also do record every class. So our live classes that we do, they are recorded and then posted up on our Canvas website, your course page, so that, and I normally have mine up by the next day for students to see. So if a parent wants to go, if you don't want to sit there the whole time that your student is doing it, you can go watch it at your convenience later on. Just watch the recording with your student if you want to do that as well. That's always an option. Anything else?
Well, I was just going to say as well, the Canvas you have your own, I want to say, doorway into their grades.
Yes. The observer accounts, yes, for parents. Yeah, that's very true. That's a great point. That each parent, when your student signs up, each parent will then link to their student's account too, so they can make sure that assignments are being turned in. They can check grades. You can email either one of us, like anytime, if you have a question or your student is having any problems at all. We're here to help.
Absolutely.
Another parent asked, what is the length that students can expect? What's the length of most writing assignments? I'm assuming that you meant like page length, and that would just depend on the assignments. Right. In my class with Writers in Residence 1 for creative composition 1, the students' writing will be much shorter than by the time they get to Kristen's class. Yeah. Because we're starting out from the very beginning just writing really strong sentences. So like our very first assignment that students will turn in is writing about a favorite memory. And that could be anywhere from, I tell them to aim for 5 to 10 sentences, but I also say write until you're done, you know? So I don't like to put a cap on the length, because if a student has a lot to say, I want to encourage the students to just communicate whatever they want to get out. So
right, to fully communicate that idea.
Right. I'd like for a minimum of 5 sentences if they're a really struggling writer and are having a hard time. And
then in my class, if our goal is essays, but you work up to that, and it's a 5-paragraph essay. It wouldn't just be done in 1 week. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that except for that it's just edit that out.
No, that's great. Well, and too, in Writers in Residence 1, by the end of the year, the length is a lot longer from the beginning of the year. Like I said, we're doing 5 to 10 sentences in the beginning of the year, but by the end of the volume 1, we are writing stories, and their goal is to get up to the 5-paragraph essay so that they'll be ready for Writers in Residence too. And when it comes to the stories, again, that's when I tell them go until you're done. Like I've had, sometimes I've had a lot writers that really like to write, so they will be lengthy. But that's what this class is about, is encouraging the writer in your students. Yes. So, and if you have a struggling writer at home too, I am no stranger to that. I'm sure that. Again, we're homeschooling parents, right, and we've also taught this class at co-ops. So we've had all different types of writing abilities that we've both worked with.
And both, like a prolific writer down to a non-writer, love the class.
Yep. So. Yeah, I've never had a student not like the class. They've always had fun, even if they had a hard time with writing. Another thing someone brought up, I don't know about word processing apps that specialize with dyslexia or spelling, but I will say Kristen and I were just talking that I always reassure the students, especially at the beginning of the year, that this is a writing class and not a spelling class. So students should not feel intimidated in any ways. Trust me, my own kids.
Yeah, I have non-spellers and spellers. So
It was horrible for a while. I was really getting nervous, but it works itself out. But so I can decipher pretty much anything. I've had lots of practice over the years. But just using a regular, just Word on your Microsoft Word on your computer works great because it has the spell check feature. You can just select all, and there's what is it, spelling and grammar?
Yes. So if it's not written in a correct form, it'll inform you. So you can correct it.
Yes, and parents are more than welcome to look over their students' work before they turn it in to help with the spelling in any way. And also if you have a non-typer, that is also fine, especially for my class, because I tend to get some of the younger ones too that may not have typing skills just yet. This is a great time to start typing skills with like a free typing app online. But if they're not there yet, they can handwrite their stuff. You can scan in handwritten stuff to me, or they can give you, if you are willing, parents, if you don't mind typing up their work so that they can submit it. That's what many of the parents in my class have done, and they've typed up their students' work to submit to me as well. Did you have anything to add in on that?
I don't.
No. I think that's all the questions that we had from parents, but our email addresses are on our, if you go to deborahbell.com and click on the online courses, for each of our classes, we each have our email addresses on our course descriptions there. So you can ask us any questions that you have, or feel free to just post them in the comments on the Facebook group here, and we will jump in for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I wanted to ask Kristen, since you've taught this now and are going into doing it online, what was your favorite thing about teaching Writers in Residence 2 with your students?
I love the way Deborah has formatted the whole class. She doesn't want students to feel incapable of writing, and she also wants to broaden them beyond the just typical essay. So you start out with a report with our class, and it's very interesting, and then you work on a persuasion assignment, and then my favorite were you do a poetry unit, and she does such an excellent job setting it up to understand poetry and then help the students write poetry. And then at the end, I had never taught creative writing before, and they get to write their own short story, and they were phenomenal. And it just, the curriculum sets up the students for success and for excitement. They actually enjoy the whole process. I had a variety of students, like I said, some really loved writing and some just thought it was complete torture, and they all loved it, the assignments. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah. And I would agree. I've taught it in a lot of different capacities. Like I mentioned that I enjoyed teaching at home with my oldest first, and then I moved into teaching it simultaneously with our co-op and online. And I enjoyed it in both formats. I really like the group dynamic and how it's set up. Even in the curriculum, they encourage the students to share their writing.
Yes.
And I think that is a really valuable piece of doing Writers in Residence as an online class.
I agree.
Because students having an audience puts an extra motivation, I think, into just the thought that they're putting into their work and taking that extra time to really invest in their writing and grow as writers. And I think they learn from each other. They want to try out different things that they hear someone else trying out in their work, and they're inspiring each other, which I just love that. I teach art classes at our co-op sometimes too, and I always tell my art students, I'm like, oh, great artists always inspire other great artists. And I feel, because through our art history, that's been the case. And so but I feel that's the same, that's true with writing as well, is that writers and great writers inspire other great writers. So this is a great place to do that. I love seeing students grow from those beginning sentences to their final piece that they do at the end of the year. That's probably my favorite thing about it. So just so you know, my Writers in Residence 1 class, which on the Deborah Bell website again is Creative Composition 1. We were trying just to make it clear as to what the course was in case people weren't familiar with the curriculum name. So that's why we did the name change on the AIM Academy site. But we meet online for our live class on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Colorado, so it's 11 for me. So, and what time is?
Yes. My Creative Composition 2 class is on Mondays, noon Eastern Time, which is 10 a.m. my time.
Perfect. So we hope that we answered a lot of your questions. And if you have more, again, just feel free to ask us anytime. And we hope to see your students in our classes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.